My students come into class 45 minutes. Can you win before then? Not a hope, dude. Not a chance. Neil Ain chance I get. Makara. Neil Ain chance I get. Oh god, I forgot to get my Pellegrino. God, I forgot to get Matt's Pellegrino. The Pellegrino is a tradition. I'll be right back. No, to answer your question, Civ 4 did not have it so that you could only build wonders that your Civ had already built. In the real world, that's never been a thing, as far as I can tell. Alright, probably be a good idea if I closed all this shit and opened Humankind. Goodbye, music. That was probably just Rise and Fall. It'd be kind of silly if your Civ could only build the world wonders that your Civ built in reality, because then like Greece would build like 20 wonders and no one else would have any. You know what I'm saying? Why does... Hello? It's working. Rise and Fall. Okay. I should probably show you the game. You can hear the music. Dude, I'm all over the place today. Today's just not... I do have my dark chocolate though. Just like my little treat. Alongside a San Pellegrino. That I start off almost every stream with. I'm hooked on Super Auto Pets. Me too, bro. I've started getting hooked on Legends of Runeterra on my mobile. Between that and Super Auto Pets, I'll never have another boring poop. Don't underestimate those who want historical accuracy. Someone even went so far as to make a Humankind mod that restricts the culture selection according to your geoposition in the game. I think there is an interesting place in the world for a sort of culture tree in Humankind. Like maybe if you start out Indo-European, you can move towards like the Indian subcontinent, you can move towards like the North African subcontinent, you can move towards like the Europeans, like you can move, and then culturally you'll like branch out and bounce around depending on which culture in that area you want to play. I think that doesn't work right now because there's not enough cultures across all the eras. You would need to have like a Greece from when Greece arises as an idea. You know, and not just Greece. You would need like a Kazakhstan. You would need China. You would need Egypt. You would need South Africa. You would need Mali. Whatever came before Mali. Whatever came after Mali. Whatever you know. It's just a lot. So I think the game is more interesting if you can switch from any culture to another culture. It's a little bit jarring, I'll agree. But overall, I think it's better. Hello, Father. Is that alcohol you're drinking? Yes, it is, my son. I'm just having my pre-stream chocolate on stream. Just like, I don't know why I'm doing this. ASMR. Maybe. Nuzlocke dream slowly dying. We'll get back to it, I swear. Listen, I had a bad few days. We'll get back to the Nuzlocke. Okay. I need to remember how to play this game. Let's make sure we're in a nice camera position. Can you tilt it slightly that way? So we are going to get started here, playing a little bit of Humankind. Now I'm only going to be on for about another 2.5 hours because I have D&D tonight, because it was meant to be yesterday, but I didn't get any sleep. It's been a rough. It's been actually since the last time I streamed on Thursday. It's been a rough whole time. So it's nearly been a whole week of roughness. But we've got potential here to recover. It's Wednesday evening. We can recover. Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Humankind. Now, I don't exactly remember what we were doing, or where we were, or what stage of the game we were at. I can't remember if we were going to advance our save or do anything of that nature, because it's been a few days since we played, because I hurt my toe, and I had a bad few days for sleep, and it was hard to play. But if I take a moment here to look, we do have only expansionist stars and a little bit of other stuff. So I think I'm going to hang out in this era for a little bit longer, at least until I get tech stars. Oh yeah, we've only just gotten here. So we're playing Swahili. Now, the Swahili... Okay, these are the harbor guys. That's right. All right, it's all coming back to me now. So our gold. Yeah, the gold. Hell yeah, baby. I'm starting to remember where we were in this game. That's awesome. We are building, I believe, that's a grand fire temple. So I think what we were doing is building a lot of infrastructure. We had just killed one of the AIs, and now we were looking to expand across the water. It's all coming back to me, baby. You ever have a moment like that when you come into an old save file, and it's like rummaging in like a forgotten drawer in your wardrobe? And it's like, did I ever actually own brown socks? Like, why is there like 6 pairs of brown socks in the bottom of my wardrobe? Like, when did I buy these? This is like Pac-Man stuff from the 80s. Where did this come from? So this is what it's like when you load up a save you haven't played in a while. We have colony model now, as well as crop rotation. Oh, +1 food on tiles producing food. That's quite good. That's going to be a lot of food scaling for us, which works nicely. And new wonders, man, a lot is happening this turn. The nice food scaling, we're already scaling quite hard on population. And I feel like population is one of the more satisfying ways to play, to make sure you get a decent amount of population. Like if you look at my, it's not my capital is Mchinge. If you look at my capital, it's got 23 population, but only 24 jobs. So we are going to need to get more jobs in here. I think we have not enough Steve jobs. So I think I'm actually going to take this off of... I'm just going to put food at the bottom of the list, because it doesn't seem like food is quite important to me at the moment. We have a few army stacks exploring and doing stuff like that. I would like to take control of this area. It's quite cheap to get an outpost. I would like an outpost that didn't have near zero production. So I think I'll found it there, and then I'll send you off to explore this way. How about you? You guys have already made me an outpost, so go ahead and explore over there. We have found the promised / undiscovered new world, and it has land. It has enemy land. Can we... pillage? Perhaps we can pillage this and make some money out of it. Ooh, we have even more land down here. I'm loving the fact, let's see, 4 production. I think I would rather go for 9, 10. I mean, I actually don't care how fast these outposts build themselves, because I'm really just claiming the land to have land and have options later on in the game. In Mokenge, we just got another Bandari, and I think we have all the Bandaris we can get in here, unless we were to attach another settlement, which we could totally do if we wanted to do like harbor / Bandari stuff over here. We could attach new settlements onto this, no problemo. Is your little toe all right? It's not broken. We got an x-ray of the little toe. It's just very badly bruised. It's still a little bit stiff and sore when I scrunch my foot, but otherwise it's mostly okay. It's just mostly a superficial bruising wound. So I think we're going to survive that just fine. Now, looking at Mokenge, there is a part of me that says, like, we could just, you know, if we come over to Gulji here, this is prime real estate island here. for either expanding my capital or making a small island city out here, because I could make Gulji into a city, add these 2 territories to them. Here's the thing. I'm already over my city cap, and I don't know how many more city caps I'm going to get. Like, I'm getting +1 here. I could probably go to 3 over my city cap and not suffer too badly. It's quite expensive. We would be waiting quite a while for that. On the other hand, I could attach this to my capital and get access to 4 more jobs, as well as another population, as well as another couple of harbors over here that I could build with influence. I'm kind of liking the harbor with influence thing. And there's a really nice place here for the Bandari. Now, the thing about the Bandari is that it gets +10 stability per adjacent regular district. So if I slap a Bandari right there, it has 4 locations where it can get districts adjacent to it. So this would be like a net positive in terms of stability. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking it might be the thing to do. And then I could just throw a harbor over on this other side. And that harbor, I believe, because of my national ability, actually just doesn't cost me stability. And then I can come in here, and now I've got like a really powerful region, right? This thing is producing 49 food, 8 industry, 50 money, all that sort of stuff. I could attach that to my capital if I really wanted to. Now, it will make things a little bit more expensive if I do this, but I think this might be worth it because of the scaling here, plus all the nice land. So yeah, but we don't have to make that decision right now, but it is a decision we can make at any point that we feel like. Taking a look at the capital. The capital has plenty of food right now. I think what my capital really needs is jobs. So I think a sprinkling of like makers quarters around. I think the trick is don't put too many makers quarter in any one region and just like sprinkle a few around. And that way you never run into the issue where you have like massive pollution problems in the super late game. By just sprinkling them around in every region, you get a little bit of pollution, but nothing major. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. The problem is the districts are super expensive in this city right now. So I do think like an extra maker's quarter or 2 would be helpful. So let's kind of get a couple extra maker's quarters. I think I'll place 2 maker's quarters. Actually, how close am I to my district thingy? We're quite close. So yeah, we'll do 2 more maker's quarters in here. How did you get your map to be so flat? Is there an option in creation? I think it was partially just luck, and also I think I might have just set it to average height differential, and it's a rather large map. I mean, it's pretty hilly and stuff over here. I do prefer, personally, the map is a little bit flatter, so sometimes I do select that. I can't remember whether or not I actually changed anything. But let's go ahead and grab Theology so we can get +1 city slot limit, and let's actually start playing, because it's 7 minutes now before we even hit end turn. We can claim a new wonder. There is something to be said for Angkor Wat. It's not terrible. I think I'm going to skip Angkor Wat and see what the next era has to behold. I could also invest in a resource. Now, I happen to know there may be some over here that are worth investing in. Yeah, like here. Boom. It'll pick me up an extra 200 gold. I don't think I'm going to attach to my capital. My capital's already kind of having production problems, so by attaching another area, I would have even more production problems. I think I'd rather just slowly build up the capital. Right now, I'm focused on developing my infrastructure. That's like the big thing for me, is to slowly but surely developing the infrastructure across my empire. You can see it in the pause menu game options. Elevation standard. It was just standard elevation is what I put in. 1 second. Had to blow my nose. Let's have a little bit of a look-see. 12 food, 9 production. That seems like a good spot to drop an outpost. This might turn into a city. It might not. At the very least, it can serve as like a reasonable outpost. Now, it's probably time I split some of these guys up with each other. We've got 5 peaceful boats in the water, which is kind of fun and interesting. So the city of Mycenae. Now, this is a little bit of a weird city. It's kind of oddly laid out. There is an argument to be made for like a commons quarter somewhere in here. Stability is relatively okay, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Really what the city needs is just time to grow. That's where like it's missing some of these yields. But I feel like there's a little bit of a mismatch. Like just kind of looking at these numbers, I'm making 261 gold in this city. And 6 gold per population. I feel like the distance between these numbers, like the velocity between these numbers, is kind of insane. I don't know. Now, here's me just spitballing. But I feel like, in terms of exploitation, you shouldn't actually get any resources from like placing makers quarters. That should just set like the maximum output of the city, and then the ratio of the population in the city, like working these jobs, sets how much of that production potential you actually hit. That would be my opinion how it should work. Because if you imagine, right, you place a maker's quarter, like 14 production from a maker's quarter, that's worth 2 population. Whereas if it was, you know, setting the potential, it would be adding like a couple of production to your population. You know what I mean? I don't know. Any primers? Thank you so much, Buzz, for the prime. I don't know if that's like a good idea, but it's an idea that I've had about the game and something I've thought about a little bit. So when I'm looking at Mycenae, I actually don't really need much here, except like maybe, weird. I can get 25 stability from that garrison. I don't need stability in here. I don't think I really need districts either. There's some pretty good food here. There is an argument to be made for like expanding my food settlements into this river here, because like there's really good food over here. I mean, that's 30 food. I could grow this city even faster. It's already growing at like 81% per turn. It's hard to know. I think for now I'll just take +2 food on river in here with also +1 money from ongoing trade. There are no trade routes here, but there may be in future. We're looking at the city of Zynkira. It's kind of similar stuff going on in here. I think the city could use a little bit more production. It's kind of out of jobs. So anything that gives me jobs is ideal here. Jobs is what I'm looking for. I am looking for a job. I guess the best way to get jobs in here is to build farmers' quarters or makers' quarters and stuff like that. Stability is fine. Maybe we could start to expand over to this section. There's a little bit of production over here. I could do like makers' quarter, makers' quarter, makers' quarter, makers' quarter, sort of in a chain. I do wish I could hold shift and like makers' quarter a chain of dependent makers' quarters. I have to wait 4 turns or 2 turns and then place another one. It's kind of annoying. Similar sort of problem in here. The city is like overgrown its need. So how about we do a little bit of production construction here. Right there. Looking at NASA, actually, is there a law I can change industrial production? I could go for more food or gold. I think I would probably go for the gold here. Getting 2 jobs per market quarter wouldn't be bad. I don't know. We'll have to kind of see how we do. I can build my Bandari, and the Bandari is like disgustingly good. It's worth 50 gold each. So these are like obvious rush things that I just want to rush. Now, I could place it over top of my current harbor, but I don't think I will. I think I will place it... Well, this is actually a really good spot for it. So yeah, we'll replace our harbor. So we spend about 10 turns just building these Bandari. That's about 150 gold each. If you have Humankind, if you have Game Pass, Humankind is on it for no further cost. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I like that Humankind is on the Game Pass. A lot of people can try it out. One of the really nice things about like expanding to these areas, like these little outposts, is that they'll actually grow population for you relatively slowly, but that will actually count towards these missions in here over time. So we need 2 more techs, 6 more districts, quite a bit more gold. I think we're on par for an okay run here. I think one area that I'm falling behind in, which isn't great, is the fact that I'm falling behind a little bit in influence production. My influence is quite low. I don't really have a plan or possibly even a need to improve my influence production. So we'll have to kind of see what we decide to do there. I have all my units like split up and exploring and stuff. This looks like it could be quite a productive little island chain over here. I'm kind of starting to get tempted by like the island city idea that I had. That's starting to seem a little bit more fun if we were to do it. Finding new land would be ideal. Okay, we did find new land. Perfect. I'm loving the whole embarkation thing for Swahili is insane, dude. I'm loving it. The fact that I can like just run up and down the coastline with no problems is my favorite. Era Star unlocked. So we have Gold Agrarian, Gold Expansionist, and Bronze. Wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe... getting Silver Militarist would require a war. But I could definitely get Silver and Gold in at least 2 more categories. Merchant Star, that's perfect. Go ahead and grab that anomaly right there. Hey, Theology was researched off the back of that anomaly. Amazing. I think, anyway. So we got Theology. That's going to give us access to extra science on our researchers, as well as +2 researcher jobs. I remember we're growing really quickly, so stuff like this is really good. Each pop gives +1 influence, but if you raise stability, it gives +2 instead. Yeah, I know that. It's just that, like, right now my big problem isn't that I can't get enough pops, it's that I can't get enough jobs for my pops. I'm actually over-popped right now, pretty heavily. Which I think would be great opportunity for a migration mechanic expansion. Like do a little mini expansion based around migratory people and immigration, like overpopulated cities. You know, prosperous cities, maybe a draw, you know, population from your little outposts or something like that. You know, you could there's things you could do. So agrarian and expansionist civs could have some interesting interaction there. If you expand a lot of people will migrate to the big cities. I think Great Fish Market now, this is an amazing building, +5 money per naval trade route and +4 money on harbour. That's a fantastic building, so we're going to want to grab that. Hamlets are quite useful because they have 4 jobs in them and they allow you to access more resources. So I think hamlets are something I want to grab relatively soon as well. People are hesitant, people are converting. Cultural shift is starting. I think my culture is too weak. And it's beginning to collapse because I started trading so heavily with the Haudenosaunee. At least over here. Because this city had like, what, 12 population? Generating 70 influence compared to like my capital. It's generating 110. This city's making 110 as well. So yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more. I think influence would be like an important resource for me to get a hold of if I can. I gotta say though, playing this updated version of Humankind is feeling really, really nice. The game feels like it has matured quite a bit from launch. It definitely had a couple of issues on launch, which were, I feel like, holding it back a little bit. But now, kind of getting to look at it again with sort of fresh eyes, with fresh mechanics and stuff like that. Some of the flaws are still there, but you can see they've been kind of blended out a little bit. They've been kind of blurred and smudged away with new stuff, and the potential for me to get sucked into this game and just continue to play it is high. It's very high, let me tell you. So I definitely want to pick up a fishmonger because that leads to the trade building. And then I think I also would like another maker's quarter. Let's see, there's a +15 maker's quarter over here by the river. I'll grab that one. It's pretty good. And then that's fine, yeah. I really like 4X games because they kind of breadcrumb you through the gameplay. It's like, oh, this city needs an order. Oh, this army needs to move. Oh, this needs to do that. And it's really important for those decisions to be interesting. Let's see, the Haudenosaunee. They have what? What do they want from me? We depend on access to their resources. What? You also depend on access to my resources. They see us as their...
No, not acceptable.
Because we propose a treaty to them. I don't understand why you hate me, lady. I'm not dependent on your resources, okay? I just want them. Because goddamn doesn't make my empire stronger to be friends with you. But I mean, if you want to declare war... That's a road I will... Listen, I will salt the earth of my people's future for just a sniff of one of your cities burning, okay? Just a sniff. It never put me in charge of anything that, like, actually has an impact on people's lives. I'll go rogue, dude. I'll make decisions. I start mobilizing troops in Eastern... in Western Russia. You know what I'm saying? I'll go rogue. Don't ever give me power over anything. I just got the Wordle right for today. What's your strategy? My strategy is, like, the first two words are typically kind of random. Because for me, the challenge is sort of the fun part. I will pick a couple of words at random that have, like, usually I just try to hit I try to hit all 5 vowels in the first 2 words. So I'll do something like S-U-I-T-E, sweet. And then beans is another good opener, B-E-A-N-S. It hits a lot of those really good words. Treat can be a fun one because T is quite a popular letter at the start and end of words. So if you hit both of that and you hit R-E-A, which are relatively popular letters too. So I'll usually just pick a word that usually hits at least 2 vowels, throw it out, and then try to explore my way around until I get to a point where I can't solve it. And if I can't solve it, I will, I'll enter my letters into one of those, like, anagram things and, like, just get, like, a huge list of, like, 5-letter words. I'll usually do that if I'm on, like, 5 or 6 and try to, like, find it. Because, like, the reality is it's just that I can't think of the word, not that I haven't found it. So I'll often, like, be like, it's not a big deal if I just find the word at this point.
Love you, man.
It's not a competitive game. It's a game you play against yourself. At that point, if I can't think of it, I can't find it, and I just want to know it. You know. Posit, break, and munch. I like munch. Munch is a good first word. I like that one. Explorers, nice. We are just found an outposts. So we're back to Mike and A. We got the customs farm. Let's grab the fishmonger and the fishery, because we do actually have a decent number of harbors in my empire. And there will be more. Oh, wow. I can get plus 20 for placing next to my Bandari. That's very good. God, Coastal Haven is so good. We just got forward outposts. That's quite good. We have the access to the Quadrireme, as well as another Aerostar for science. Perfect. How are we doing on the fame ranking? Man, the Haudenosaunee is just insane right now. They are running away with the game. So I do think science is going to be like a big thing that we need to get control of. So let's get library and House of Scribes as a priority in here. In fact, yeah. Library and House of Scribes. I think I need to get my science up to a more respectable level. This is just an encampment, so I don't think I can, like, hire them or anything. Ah, you can. You know what? Let's attempt to give. What happens if I give these people an outpost? I've never tried this. I gave them Sadach. Yeah. I just moved them. I just peacefully relocated them from this area to my border. Now here's the question. Is this actually a civilization now? They're at their zenith. So I'm waiting for this to become a city. Interesting. So I just like, hey, come live next to me, buddy. It's like, move in, neighbor. That's kind of cute. I like that. That's neat. I've never done that before. I need to find like dry land. Khmer, how do you feel about open borders?
So, tell me.
I will pay the money for that because this unit is actually kind of important to me. Plus, I want to explore and find your resources. Have I bought all the Khmer's resources, actually? I have. Quote-unquote peacefully relocated. Listen, I'm not going to question. They moved of their own accord. I gave them land. They accepted the deal. It was completely fair. 1908, hell yeah. There are no power imbalances in Humankind, okay? Where do I put this outpost, though? 6-8. I'm kind of confused as to when suggestions appear. Is the game just like nothing here is good enough to suggest? Is that like the suggestion? Is like don't settle here? I'll take a 7-8. But like if you zoom out objectively, like my grip on this map is insane. The amount of resources that I'm going to be able to generate from this map is going to be fun.
Hey, potato. How's it going? Been a while.
It's going well, Atman. Oh my god, I misread your name. Ahmad Atman. So does this develop into a city, I assume? And then I'll be friendly. Yeah, it gives you really good relationship with them. Ah, so expansionist empires can actually also leverage that into good relations with these minor civs. Cool. In terms of laws, independent peoples, assimilate cost wouldn't be bad. We'll probably want to take assimilate cost at some point if we're doing independent peoples resettling. I'm going to take +1 trader slots.
Let's hope that there is enough.
That should open up more jobs over time for me and give me a lot more gold. Because again, I'm just having trouble employing all my population. It's probably not an important thing to fixate on. Cheaper create outposts. I'm gonna accept this one because I'm placing a lot of outposts right now. Eventually, though, I mean, I have so much money that it doesn't really matter what the price is. Like, I'm starting to snowball now, which is always a good feeling. I think there is a point in these games where you begin to snowball and the game becomes like a lot more fun. And then there's a point beyond that where you snowball too much and the game becomes tedious. And like that's a bad time. But that time in the middle there, that's great. And that's where we are right now. We're in the like the engine is ticking over and we're kind of snowballing a bit. And that's my favorite time when I'm playing one of these games. Is that moment when you realize that you've built like an overpowered empire. And then the bit that sucks is later when you realize that you've built an overpowered empire and like you're literally a god king and nothing is interesting anymore and like you're like scorching the earth of millions of people just to feel anything. Hello, Dr. Manhattan. Let's go ahead and get the manuscript atelier because we want lots of science. So +1 science per researcher and 2 researcher slots is quite good because the city is maxed out on thing. You know what, we could spend the money on this. We also want the fishmonger. Do we? No, we don't. Not in this city. Hey, Potato, any plans on playing CK3 when Royal Court comes out? Yes, I absolutely 100% will be playing CK3 with Nick from Tides of Death, who, if you don't know, every week on Tuesday we play a D&D campaign on Twitch called Tides of Death, and Nick plays CK3 and we're planning on playing it together in a multiplayer environment. We're kind of coming up with ideas about how we play and what we do. So me and Nick are going to play that. That's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I really do feel like the city, like, what ironically needs just time to grow. Like, the city is perfect. So maybe I just grab, like, a theater for the little bit of influence. It's the equivalent to having 2 population at 100% stability, or 4 at below 90%. Maybe we go for the library and the manuscript atelier. Just sort of get that passive science ticking over. Era star unlocked is the builder star, so that's 1, 2, 3 gold stars, which should theoretically be enough to put me in a really strong position, but apparently not when I'm compared to this AI. I do think I'm going to have to go to war with the Haudenosaunee in the late game, which is going to be a problem. Although I may, it depends on how strong the Nigerian MRAPs are. Really, I've heard good things about the MRAPs. I can't actually go into whoever's territory that is, or else it's just like a zone of control thing. I'm not sure. But we're exploring. There is also a sort of, I don't know about you guys, but exploring the world kind of has the same, those like little scratch cards I don't know if other countries do this, but when you're a kid in Ireland, or at least when I was growing up, you would get given, because it was seen as like a little bit, I don't want to say crass, or like giving people money wasn't like the done thing, I guess, which like, in my opinion is fine. Give me money. You would give a kid like a couple of like €5 scratch cards or something instead of like 10, instead of money in their birthday card. And you would like scratch them off and like you never won. I get the same feeling of like discovery as I'm like scratching off the Fog of War off the map. I'm like, ooh, I wonder what's underneath this patch of Fog of War. Is there cool resources? Is there like a strategic and interesting landmass? That's kind of how I feel when I'm playing, when I'm doing this exploration phase. It's really, really satisfying to kind of watch the Fog of War fold back. It's super popular in the US for Christmas to hand out scratch cards, which like I appreciate that people mean well doing it, but also it's kind of weird to give children gambling. I mean, it's the same idea too with Magic the Gathering cards, or just like any card based thing. Because when I was a kid, football cards were huge. Football cards is basically you get these like you get this like book for like the FIFA, the Premier League or whatever league it is. And you would have all the teams. You have like Manchester, you'd have Liverpool, Chelsea, whatever. I don't know what the teams are now. But you'd have all the teams, and then you would buy like these little card packs of footballers that were stickers, and you would stick them in your book, and you would try and complete it. And you would have to trade with your friends and stuff like that. Except you would steal from your friends, obviously, because you're 7 and you don't know what morality is. Well, I never stole because I didn't care. I've never been a collector kind of person. Never cared. Really didn't. I would happily give all my cards to other people. But yeah, I think it's the point of that is that feels a little like weird and unethical. Like, hey kid, here's your gateway drug. Have a little gambling in your life. I don't know, it just felt weird on reflection to me that was a thing that we just did. And nobody batted an eyelid. Yeah, I think picking up the manuscript atelier and the school here, I want to grow my science a little bit. We're in a science expansion phase, so we'll slowly work on that. Me think potato protests too much. What does that even mean? I've never understood that phrase. What? I don't think we should. Nuclear the take, guys. I don't think we should promote gambling for children. Wow. I think you're projecting. What are you talking about? What? Project? What am I? What? Why would you? What do you even mean? Listen, sometimes this is why so many people are banned in my chat. Okay, you're watching me play, and you feel that urge. I know you do. I know you feel it down in your danglies. When you are sitting there, and you've come up with something clever to say, and you just can't hold back. Do you actually get bothered by kids having scratches on Christmas? Seems harmless. I'm I'm not like bothered by it. I'm just like like, you know, upon reflection, it's a shower thought moment. You know, upon reflection, maybe we shouldn't be doing it. I mean, like, it's just like, you know, maybe not. Maybe we shouldn't be doing it. It's like I don't know if that's like the correct answer, but it's a thought.
Tell me about yourself.
Oh my God! Why is everyone so greedy for money for open borders? What is this? You know. Here's the thing. I think everyone agrees that, like, children shouldn't gamble. Children shouldn't drink alcohol. Children shouldn't, like, do drugs. Children shouldn't, you know, those are, like, vices. Children shouldn't buy NFTs or cryptocurrency. These are all vices. So, like, it's weird that we give them ways to gamble. Okay? And it's seen as like just, yeah, no, kids just vibing, dude. I don't, am I out of touch? Am I crazy here? Alcohol is yummy. Great contribution to the conversation. Why are you attacking me? Sir?
You have my attention.
We have open borders. What? I have open borders. I'm in your territory. Why are you attacking me? I don't understand. We have open borders. I'm in your land. So he's just like, come on in. He's just like, come on in, guys. Immediately steals our shoes and stabs us in the back. What the hell? What the hell was that? That's insane. That's ridiculous. Also, the Haudenosaunee is killing them. Or I got you baited. Dude, they were just like, come on in, neighbor. We're about to start dinner. I was like, oh, what's for dinner? You.
I bid you greetings in the name of my proud people.
I think I would like to declare. Do you have a non-aggression pact? Listen, I don't care if I have a non-aggression pact. All I care is that, in my opinion, if you have open borders with somebody, you shouldn't attack them when they're in your borders. You can't just be like, come into my house and then be like, you're trespassing. You know what I mean? It's not okay.
Will this independent people be an
It's like, yeah, come into my house. Intruder! You just pull out the gat and just start blasting. It's like, dude, this is not okay. It's the Florida way, true. Am I wrong? That feels counterintuitive, that they can be like, hey, come into our borders. Also, don't come into our borders. Don't... don't come into the Khmer tomorrow. It makes sense for medieval times, dude. That would what? Diplomacy existed before we had computers, dude. Right this way, Mark. True. Looking at the city of Macumba, the only big place that I feel like I'm falling behind is science. This is a lot of turns for researching. So I'm feeling like maybe a little bit of tech here is appropriate. Like just a few research quarters might be nice. Like maybe a group of 3 here. This is prime farming land. So I do need to be careful about like how I screw my farming land. Excuse me. Yeah, I think I'll do like a triangle of research districts over here. The stability in here is fine. We'll start on some research, just to try and push that number just a little bit taller. There's seafaring, so now we have access to the Great Fish Market. Now that's important enough for me to consider changing what I'm doing across my empire. We did just get another merchant star, so we're about 10 turns away, maybe 4, no, probably more like 6 turns away from this other star, because I'm making 2,000 gold per turn. So I definitely want to come in here and get the Great Fish Market, naval trade routes. I think I have a decent amount of naval trade routes. Like if I buy this, boom, that was worth like 30 gold per turn. Not terrible. Where do I have the most trade routes? I think it's over here in Nasa, actually. Right? Yeah, 27 trade routes. So if I come in here and I buy the fishmonger, okay, there's a little bit of gold. And then I buy the Great Fish Market, boom, that was over 200 gold per turn. So that was super worth it. That'll pay itself back over time relatively quickly. So the potential for my empire to like snowball here from land is kind of high. I should probably consider settling another city. I will have the influence for it next turn. Tempted to do this. Kind of a weird little island city. Although maybe I'll do that to my... Maybe I'll attach that to my capital. Who knows? I definitely feel like I could attach Ganubu here. $1,400 gold. That seems like a steal. It will make this like this is 1,100 production. I attach, and that made that 1,400 production. So it does make your districts quite a bit more expensive to attach. But the extra job slots is worth it in my opinion. You know. We do be doing. Open borders without non-aggression pact at your own risk, I guess. In my opinion, I interpreted, right, tolerate skirmishes as in neutral territory, right? So neutral territory not owned by either party. What this actually means is you just can't attack them inside their territory. So if I have open borders and tolerate skirmishes, I can go into their territory, but they can still attack me, which is really unintuitive and strange of an interaction. So yeah, it's a bit odd. It feels like to me that like open borders should be dependent upon a non-aggression pact. You can't have it the way it is currently. I like that this is sort of trying to be independent and stuff like that. I don't think it works very well. So are they just occupying all this land? I think they are.
Yes, greetings. I hope you don't mind if I stare.
I think it's about time that we killed Scythia. Wait, first though, I need to get the tech to merge cities. Yeah, so I need to get this. I need to get military architecture. And once I have the ability to merge cities, I can like rebuild my empire in my own image. So the city of Mycenae is quite good. Let's see, we could do the Great Fish Market. We have a trade route here. The city of Nasa. Quite a bit of anomalous terrain and stuff like that around. It wouldn't be bad for me to get another Maker's Quarter. There's a 19 production Maker's Quarter there. Just throw down the occasional Maker's Quarter. Dirtylicious 33, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. We just got an Esthete Star. I don't think I'm ever going to get more than a Bronze Esthete Star this era. It would take way too long, like 14 turns. I think I'll probably get my gold merchant star and maybe a silver scientist star, and then just bounce out of this era. Independent peoples. This is a law I haven't actually picked yet. And this culture is already kind of converting back to me because my culture pressure has like flipped and changed here. So I reckon I can refuse this. Stability will be a bit of a problem for a while, but we'll be able to fix that with things like public fountains and aqueducts and stuff like that. How important is managing the city cap? Like I want to merge some cities, but it's so expensive. I think you don't want to be like more than 4 or 5. It depends on how much influence you make. You don't want to be too much higher than it. Science osmosis, 100 science, cool. I do think it's about time I set up a city over here in this like fresh, fertile land. And we have the option of evolving the outpost to a city. And it'll be a while before we get 3-masted ship. So the sooner we do this, the better. And I'm thinking the city of Agai here is quite good. It's got 3 land masses, 1, 2, 3, that I could make use of as an island city. So let's do Bandari. There's an ideal Bandari. Now the interesting thing about the Bandari is that in my opinion, you want to place it here in these kind of like crevices rather than normal harbors, which you want to place like, you know, on the edge of terrain so you can grab as much cool, delicious stuff as possible. So let's start doing more Bandari, like right there. Artisan's Quarter. Let's make sure we have all these resources unlocked too, because these are quite good resources. Like there's whales here that I absolutely should just have control of. We're like missing Bandari. We'll get around to that. So I'll probably have to do this next turn. Yeah, I just spent a little bit too much influence. So we'll do all that next turn. 17-4. I think I would like something a little bit more balanced, like a 15-5 or a 6-10. I know that sounds like, what, a 6-10? More balanced? It is. Production is better than food, in my opinion, for outposts, because getting the outposts online is like pretty important. But now we're sort of reaching the part of the scratch card reveal the map portion where micromanaging scouts is like slightly tedious and no longer fun. So we have all of our tech stuff in here. The big thing we're missing is probably a triangle of research quarters somewhere. I'm thinking down here isn't bad. We'll drop down 2 research quarters to try and boost up the science per turn. We are now in food deficit because the city grew too much, which is kind of wild to me. Why is my food so low? What happened here? In the form of territory. It's because the Haudenosaunee I'm just going to...
How can we remain? Shared anger will not resolve this. Let us...
Don't make me go to war with you. So she is screwing me out of a lot of resources here by doing this. Now, I'm probably screwing her out of like a relatively equal amount, but we do need to diffuse this. I'll refuse her demands, and now we're at war. Okay. So this will be good for me, because I still have my demands in action. I'll have a little bit of trouble here, but this does give me an opportunity to flex my muscle. They will be slightly technologically ahead of me, but that's fine. They declared war on me, so their war support is going down over time. So this is a trade war, is what we need to keep in mind. In terms of military, I feel like boats are going to be the thing here. Let's have a look, right? Garama. I think a stack of 4 cogs here is the move. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll try to purchase those out. We can get those cogs from Garama around to here relatively quickly and maybe harass their coastline with them. The city of Zinkerka. We can probably send this stack of army out to meet them on the field of battle. And we'll do a similar thing. Build a second stack of cogs. So we're in war now, which significantly changes the game. We also want to be careful now with these stacks. We don't want to lose them to like careless boat attacks, because that could tank our war support. So let's kind of like regroup our armies and stuff like that. There's also the potential for a side attack here from me to Thebes. So that's something I should consider. I'll start moving troops out in that direction. I do like this though. We're living in interesting times. War is happening. I do feel that I should convert this to a city. Like so. There's Kilwa. And we will start to build some makers' quarters here. We could probably do a little bit of harassment with these armies to get them grouped up. We want to be careful about how we approach this war, because every battle we lose is not great.
Prove practical for both farming and warfare. Certain codes and practices arise that ideally ensure a fair and honourable society.
Chivalry researched. We have access to the hamlet as well as knights. And we can claim a new wonder. None of those really appeal. So we have a Pentaconter here. Now this is a really good moment for me, because I might be able to get a war support win here. Boom, I kick them back. Their units retreat. They lose 5 war support. I could potentially chase down this Pentaconter with a 4 stack of boats. Also, I can upgrade these Javelin Riders to knights, which is probably what a lot of my money is going to be spent on these next few turns. So my economy was quite heavily reliant on trade with the Haudenosaunee, which I think is like a next era civ. But that's okay. Just waiting for more cogs to appear. There's Mycenae. I could make another stack of cogs. I think I will. I think I'm going to go pretty heavy on the navy here. The heavier I go on navy, the better chance I have of winning the water war. And if I can win the water war, then I can win the trade war and maybe extract a little bit of value here. So wait, their war support is low. Actually, quite good. Swahili are determined to weather this. Yeah, we can make it through this, no problem. So now this time we might be able to secure an actual victory here at sea. We have 4 boats. Now these are my boats are only transports with 27 combat strength versus their ship with 25. So I actually win this pretty readily. We have him surrounded. Perfect. Now, that kill might not look significant, but that was worth 10 war or 8 war supports. We've significantly damaged their willingness to continue the war. And we need to continue to look for little value kills like this on things like pikemen, because we have better transports and navy, like general purpose navy. Like, this is exactly the kind of war that Swahili wants to get into at this phase of the game. I have incredible embarkation skills. You're the one who declared war on me, so I'm not even losing war support over time. It's all taking part on water, where I have better transport ships than anyone else in the entire game. So, you know, it's all, as they say, it's all coming up Millhouse. When you destroy a single ship, you usually decrease their willingness to fight, just like the USS Maine. I actually don't know that reference, so I'll believe you. 22 production, 24 production. So we just want to like ramp up the production in Kilba pretty heavily here. There's siege tactics. We have access to ballistas now. There's another scientist star. So I think we will go for this. I think we're going to go for 2 more gold stars and maybe see if we can sneak in a silver on militarist. So there was an enemy unit somewhere over here. I didn't get to see where it went.
Whether or not the world goes hungry, with 30 farmers.
Let's take control of these silk. 50, like, silk industry across cities is really, really good. Production on makers' quarters is like untouchably powerful. We want to make sure we prioritize those. The Goths are expanding. I would like to find another player. If there's another player to my north, it's actually really good for me. So I'm going to go have a little bit of a questing look. A lot of army micromanagement right now for me. Wow, these cliffs really make it difficult to get over there. That might be this ocean might be too open for me to actually go sailing over to their land. I wish I knew the hotkeys for like units sit still and do nothing. We've almost got our first cog fleet available. The second cog fleet is under construction, and a third cog fleet is halfway finished. So I'm starting to feel quite good about my position in this war. The Spanish-American War of 1898 was sparked by the USS Maine blowing up in Cuba, which the US government put to blame on Spain. Later, investigation failed to find any Spanish involvement. That's right, because every time something bad happens, the reality is the person you want to attack is who's going to get blamed, regardless of what happens. Regardless of what actually happens or what the facts on the ground are. That's just like War 101, right? Oh no! Some random provincial government building is on fire. It's the Irredentists, or whatever. We declare war. Just don't look too carefully at what actually happened. Thank you. Also, you're at war. Can you surrender now? I was trying to find... There was a pikeman down here somewhere. I don't know where it's gone now. Our first cog fleet is ready to head out. We can maybe do a little bit of pillaging or something. Now, these are boarding vessels, so that's something to keep in mind, which are different from some of our others. I'm going to wait on sending armies because I actually don't know where they are. So I think 1 stack of cogs is okay for now. It would be good to get another artisan quarter on these resources right here. Tea in particular will be quite helpful for the food in my cities. What are your thoughts on the DLC so far? I think the DLC, while I don't think it's revolutionary, but it's a huge improvement to the game. Like a massive, massive, massive improvement to the game. And it makes the game like quite a bit more fun. That's like my whole opinion. Nasa. Maybe 1 more stack of cogs here in Nasa, and I'll do like a little purchasing so that gets done a little quicker. There's a merchant star, so we're gold, 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 gold. We're just waiting for gas, gas, gas on the science. Yeah, I don't think the DLC is revolutionary. I think it's really, really good. It brings the game forward in terms of mechanics. It, in particular, the patch that accompanied it has significantly improved the game to where I feel like the game is just straight up better than it was on launch. It's much more stable. It's much more playable. The mechanics feel a little bit more mature. There you are. The mechanics feel a little bit more mature, a little bit more developed. I need to catch this guy. So yeah, I feel... if you already liked the game, here's the kind of semi-nuclear take. If you already liked the game, the DLC is probably not a big deal. If you hate the game, the DLC isn't a big deal. If you bought the game and were like, oh, you know, it's a little bit buggy and I didn't want to, you know, it's kind of buggy and annoying and the mechanics aren't super fun, it's probably a significant improvement for you. If you already like the game, more is better, right? But I don't think this is going to be enough to change anyone's opinion of the game yet. That might come in the form of DLC, but right now it's not. Okay. Macomba is a city that's developing really nicely. It is a little bit negative on food right now, so we could potentially look for an extra farm or two, like along this river over here. If I was going to do that, I would like place a delicious hamlet like right there. Hamlets on rivers are just so good. It's honestly a little crazy how good hamlets on rivers are. So like maybe crack out a couple of hamlets here. Each of those hamlets is like worth quite a bit in terms of resources. Like 27 food and 13 production. Plus, the other really important thing about the hamlet is it gives you 1 of each job. So it starts to open up the game a little bit in terms of population. And it comes right at the perfect time. For looking at the city of Garama, I think hamlets also, well, yeah, I think hamlets might help. Farmers' quarters could help. I feel like hamlets, if I'm thinking about where do I want this city to expand to? Good control of the river. We'll get a watermill as well with that hamlet. How did you come up with the name Potato McWhiskey? This is a story I've told like endlessly now. But basically I was playing Battlefield with a friend of mine. And I killed him a bunch. Or we were having fun, right? And there was a couple of times where I killed him in a bullshit way. I was using the Scar L or whatever in Battlefield 19 or 2142. And I killed him a couple too many times. And he was drunk and he got mad. And he thought of the most racist thing he could call me, which was Potato McWhiskey. He said something to the effect of, "You potato fucking Irish whiskey fuck," or something like that. And I just immediately thought that was the most hilarious thing anyone had ever said to me, and I immediately changed my name to Potato McWhiskey. And then proceeded to kill him some more in the game. There were different times back then. You could call people names, and no one, and well, people got mad. But they usually got mad by like shouting different, more worse names back. So there's an enemy pikeman somewhere in this fog of war over here. I'm worried for Kilma. It should be fine. Kilma's doing great though in terms of production. I'm just really trying to ramp that production up in here. So let's go start like moving the cogs in the direction of their empire. So Zinkekra, Kek W, Zinkek W is very sparse in terms of districts actually. Like look at this city, and there really isn't many districts in here. There's like a sprinkling of districts in here, but really nothing to write home about. To the point where I'll probably merge it with Hattusa eventually. I think the big thing in here will probably be hamlets. Hamlets on the rivers. Again, like the reason hamlets on rivers are so good is because if you can exploit a river, you get food and production, and hamlets can do that. Right? And like there's a really nice river system in this chunk of territory right here. So like a hamlet here. Now this is theoretically the best place for the hamlet. But I also need to think about future districts that are going to come off the hamlet. You don't want to actually build on the river with anything other than a hamlet. You kind of want to surround the river with districts if you want to maximize your food and production off it. Like it's kind of a weird situation to be in. So yeah, hamlets on rivers are gross, and I love it. We're looking at the city of Nasa. This is a city that does need a little bit more food to grow. So perhaps like a farm or two. Maybe a farm and a hamlet. Seems like a good combo. A little bit of food, a little bit of production. Keep it busy for a while. Maybe we'll just get the hamlet.
If a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, with 5 research quarters, this city is not dangerous in the least.
How do you keep your cities fed? Mine are always starving even after spamming farmers' quarters. It's kind of weird. I don't know why your cities are starving. I'd have to look into what you're doing and what you're doing wrong and stuff.
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
So I really need to declare war on the Goths / Scythians soon. Thank you so much, Piece of the Chest. I appreciate you. So where was that pikeman? There he is. There he is. There he is. What's happening here? Is he being attacked? What? Okay, we're just going to not look at that part of the map and hope that it gets better. There he is. Cool cat. So it'd be really nice if we could do like a little bit of cheeky raiding. It's kind of what we're looking to do here.
You expect greetings? Blades would be more appropriate.
Put his head on a pike. So we got a couple of science quarters in the capital. Let's keep doing that. Do I have good rivers in here? I do have a river. There's probably like a nice hamlet somewhere here. Yeah, 22 food, 22 production. That's like a solid hamlet for 5 turns of production. The capital is starving a little bit. We're pretty light on food in here. It's probably just it's just because we're at war with the Haudenosaunee. When we force them to peace and take their trade deal. Hamlets are also one of each job slot, so they're fantastic. Yeah, I really like Hamlets for that. Actually, speaking of Mukenge, what I probably need to do is to make this go back to city growth as a policy to stop the population loss.
A proposal for you.
A non-aggression pact from the Khmer. I'll take that. Now I can finally explore their lands in peace and they won't just like straight up murder me for no reason. See, my big problem is I don't think I'm going to be able to get into their lands to do any pillaging. This is not going to work for me. I haven't been able to get over into them. A very long trade war. I have to like split up my troops. There he is. On low luxury maps, you're reliant on garrisons and common quarter. That's kind of true. My stability is relatively okay as it stands. We look at the city of Mycenae. Things are looking relatively fine in here. I do think a hamlet on this river is pretty damn tasty. Let's see here. We have 19 versus 25. Yeah, okay. Hamlet on the river. Always, always, always put hamlets on your rivers. Make sure you have water mills and stuff like that and flood irrigation. 2 more attacks until we can advance. What are we researching? We are researching war summons. It would be nice to pick up 10% science from alchemy. I think would be good. War summons researched. Perfect. We have pikemen and crossbowmen now. Not that I'm going to actually use those because I don't have a use for them yet. I'm going to move 2 sets of cogs over here to see if I can find any angle on the Khmer here, or on the Haudenosaunee rather.
What does this war do for either of us?
The Mexicans are offering me a white peace.
Could be interesting.
Both empires withdraw their demands and return to peace. I feel like I can win this war, so I'm going to refuse, and if I can extract value from this war, that would be huge. So I'm going to refuse the war, because her war support is falling. 20 turns, I auto-win. So if I can inflict just like the tiniest bit of damage, that's great for me. We have found the enemy. He has retreated. We must give chase. So he's over here. I don't think I can safely attack on land. Her units on land are likely much better than mine. That's the reality I have to accept. The way I win this war is through naval pillaging and stuff. And then eventually I'll get around to killing whoever Red is now. The Goths still. Okay. They're in the classical era still. I completely destroyed their empire. Hamlet? No, but the food in here is quite good. Let's make sure we are on city growth. So, free fish market, animal barns. Probably good to get animal barns and the fish market. We do have a decent amount of harbors. That city develop. I have a bunch of gold in the bank. I'm thinking a little bit of farming in Kilwa now would be good. Like farm a little bit over here. I do like how important a good navy is becoming on this map. Yeah, I agree. I think this has definitely been one of my more interesting games as a result of that. Let's go ahead and manual battle this. End deployment. Deploy you to 1, 2, 3. Easy kill. Very simple, very easy kill. That's another hit to their war support. It's dropping rapidly. I probably won't be able to take land unless I were able to get some sort of sneak attack on one of their cities, which would be actually amazing if I could pull that off. If I could get some quick and dirty sneak attack on one of their cities would be amazing. But it's probably just not going to happen. I'm not really set up for it, and I wasn't really prepared for a war.
A new independent people. And who are they? Time will tell if they are helpful, helpless, or history.
I don't know what's going on with my camera over here. Like, I can't actually look at this part of my empire. Like, okay, I don't know if you guys can see what's happening, but I can't go to the right. Let me just, if I go to the left. Okay, it was being really weird there. It's like a camera bug. Now it's being normal. Orange is in a stability loss spiral. Well, you see, he probably lost his stability because he declared war on me, right? So, again, hoisted by your own petard. The city of Garama. If we take a look at the city, it's quite well developed. It's got a good population. It's not growing particularly fast, which might justify a little bit more food. But I do think it's time to develop my science industry a little bit, and over here was one of the places that I had planned to do it. Because it's the one area in my empire that I'm quite a bit behind on. It's actually a really, really good sciencing area over here. Research quarter right there. Scientific fact, so I can get +1 science on holy sites or +1 faith and stability on research quarters. I think I actually like the faith and stability here. I know it sounds weird.
I should warn you that this solution is not...
But this will make my religion way more powerful. And having the strongest religion in the game, you know, might have significant advantages. But I'm going to call that the end of this episode. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. So that was episode 5. We're going to go straight into episode 6. Because I got an hour and 15 minutes until I got to play D&D. So I'd like to crack that out real quick. And then tomorrow we should be back to normal streaming. Should all be normal. How did the trade war go? We're still in it. Hey, buddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Humankind, where we are embroiled in a trade war with the Harappans, who are now the Mexicans. We're also, I think, just about ready to go to the next era. We're about to hit our scientist stars, 31. And I think that's the trigger pull to go into the next era for us. That's when we, the rubber meets the road kind of moment there for us. We have also massively expanded across the entire map. Like, we have a ridiculous amount of land. Once we can get this land up and running and developed, we're going to be unmatched in terms of development. It's going to be very, very difficult to stand up to us. And I think a lot of that land development is going to come around 3-masted ship in the next era. So we can start with colony plan and begin our cities with like full infrastructure. And then we'll probably do probably a little bit of conquest over here. We'll start merging a couple of cities, like for example, Zinkera and Macumba, they might merge. Mycenae might merge. We might merge just a few cities together to see what we can do in terms of like just developing as much land as possible across the world. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how and what we do. But it'll probably look a little bit like that. Let's have a look here. So I'm looking for harbors that I can pillage on the coastline. That would be like the perfect,
So, will this
ideal
independent
situation.
people be an ally or an enemy? A barrier or a blessing? Their future may not be in their hands.
Speaking of independent people, I'm pretty sure I set up an independent people on my border that I can also assimilate sometime in the future. I don't know if these guys will I got 40 turns to make friends with them. So we got time to make friends. I've multiple fleets coming in from every angle, so I'm hoping that does the job for me. Now we're looking at NASA. Again, I'm kind of like flailing in the dark because it's been a while since I've played Humankind, but I know there's certain things that are good, like artisan workshops. Those are good. Charcoal kilns. Those are good. Water mills. Those are good. Like these basic, always get your production buildings is kind of like a basic thing in any 4X game because production is always like the best yield. So now my river tiles are quite significantly better. Now this city doesn't have a lot of river tiles, which is, fair enough. +1 science per researcher. Yeah, again, the city is just kind of like low on growth. Levy administration, theater. It might be time to just start developing just a little bit of a scientific endeavor here, because these science districts are quite good. Now, I do need to actually keep track of the stability in some of these cities as I'm doing this. This game has more potential than Civ, and I love Civ. I think this game has different potential from Civ. I think this game has... Here's the thing. I can't... I can fall in love with potential, but I can't really play potential, if that makes sense. So having potential, I agree, and that's great. But I think we also do need to keep in mind that we need a little bit more than potential. And I think this DLC has sort of helped the game realize some of its potential, not all of it, but it's moved a step closer towards realizing its potential. I think I actually just want to go for an alliance here, and then I also want to do shared logistics. They refused.
Formalize our mutual appreciation.
No, I cannot brook such a proposal in good conscience.
I don't know why you didn't let me do this, but I'm hoping that because I'm allies now, I can heal in their territory and I get all their vision. Holy Jesus! How
Time will tell if they are helpful.
are they managing
History.
this insanity that they call an empire? What's happened here? Harappa went insane, dude.
No doubt this independent people possess sophisticated customs, rights, language, and beliefs. I do hope
Whoa, what
they
is this?
treat them well.
It's a lot of cogs. That's 14 cogs. Okay, I was not expecting 14 cogs.
So, will this independent people be an ally or an enemy? A barrier or a blessing? Their future may not be in their
Jesus. What is the combat strength on these cogs? 36. What's the combat strength on my cogs? 39. So mine are stronger. If I can get enough of them over there, it will make the difference. Hey, NASA. Why don't you just cancel what you're doing and produce more cogs? Like a lot more cogs. Alright, soldiers, into the water.
Look at what a competing empire has accomplished. A gasp of wonder, a cry of astonishment, and perhaps a pang of jealousy.
Okay, we are slowly winning this war.
Speak. And
But we can't lose this battle. It'll give them more support. Now I'm expecting, if they're in a stability crisis because of the amount of cities that they've taken and the fact that they were relying on my trade to keep their empire going. I'm expecting to see a lot of rebels here in the near future. So I'm kind of glad that there's a lot of space between me and them. Yeah, exactly. Parappa. Is that a reference to that game, the dog, where you had to like rap? The rap dog game? Unironically, fighting this battle against these knights buys me time to not have to deal with these enemy boats. So like, this is gonna sound so goofy. What if I just didn't kill them? And I got myself a... Well, here's the thing. My ships will get hurt. Jesus, they have 3 stacks of cogs. Okay, I want to screen with my cogs, because if I can get on land, for some reason, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to go onto land with my units, am I? It's not part of the battlescape. He's one-shotting my things. Yeah, I don't think these can get up on land. It's kind of annoying. This is so many cogs. This is an absurd number of cogs. Just gonna let that auto battle. So all of my money is now going into cog production, I'm pretty sure. I thought like sending over 2 fleets of cogs was like enough to make a difference here. It wasn't. Jesus. I'm still going to try. My transports were like instantly sunk, and I have like souped up Swahili transports, which is kind of scary actually. So their tech level is not to be trifled with. I think getting a better naval transport is going to be our way out of this, which we can start working on next turn. So that's a really unfortunate battle loss, because that is going to give them some more war support and hurt my war support, which will make the ending of the war a little bit worse. I don't know what's causing this whole camera issue. It has something to do with like the edge of the world. Okay, we got our Hamlet and Mycenae. I think I need to start founding more cities. Founding more cities and combining them and expanding them. Let's do farmer's quarters, farmer quarter. I don't know why you think this is better. It's like wild to me. Huh? How is this better? I guess district synergies matter a lot. But I think I'll build these 2 and then start expanding the city out. By attaching more territories and building those out. Same sort of stuff in here. Tech is like the big thing that I'm behind on. So if I do a little bit of teching, we'll catch back up. The Defiant Canvas, cultural influences. I think I would like to sponsor art. I think sponsoring art is more fun.
extremist. Think of it as being focused.
There's alchemy
Very
research
goal-oriented.
and scientist
It is
stars.
said that history is written by the winners. And you are
And now
very
we are going to
close.
be transporting to the next era now because we just got gold science. I could wait one turn to pick up maybe the estate star. Would I actually hit it? I would need 600 influence. I won't hit it next turn. So I think I'm going to advance this turn. So let's go into Neth. Drop a Bandari. We're going to start just dropping Bandaris everywhere because these are worth theoretically a lot of gold over time. So everywhere I can drop these. I probably should have been dropping these continuously, actually, is the reality of the situation. Just drop them where it makes sense. It doesn't have to have like a perfect rhyme or reason. Everywhere you don't have a Bandari, you drop it because it's worth 40-ish gold each. That's why we went mass expansion, so we could drop all these Bandari. Let's have a little look around here. More Bandari. Perfect. Like, it's just a winning strategy to do this. There's no reason that I can discern that you wouldn't do this. Aside from the cost, and the cost is relatively trivial. Will delay my next city, but that's not a big deal. So I think I'm going to start gathering an invasion fleet. The Haudenosaunee have proven to me that they are going to be a problem for this entire game. And that problem isn't going to go away unless I actually do something. Let's go back over to Nasa and finish buying some cogs. Okay, stability is great in here. Growth is fine. Let's grab the Alchemist Workshop for 10% science. It's actually not that much science in here because of the growth. Need like more and more growth as time goes on in here. I think it's just a matter of time. Wait, actually, do we have scientific districts in here? We don't. So I think it's time we got maybe a triangle of scientific districts, like right here. That's perfect. We'll get that one there. 19 science here and here. Let's do it. Stability is pretty low in here. Let's grab Public Fountain. Apothecary and Alchemist Workshop are quite good late game. So we just built all those Bandari. Now we want to advance. And I think we wanted to try do the Maasai. I thought that would be kind of fun. It's another agrarian civ, for sure. I hear you. Okay, I hear you on the agrarian, but we want to try out the African civs here, see how they work together. It's an agrarian. We grow pretty well. 25%. I don't know what this population consumption means, so I'm kind of curious. Like, if I go to my... Let's say I go over here to this city, and it's like a commons quarter cost 30 pop. Is this going to be minus 25%? You know what I mean? Is the Nuzlocke just over? No, the Nuzlocke will come back. It's just like a matter of time, motivation, and energy, and all that sort of stuff that I've been having trouble with lately. I haven't been sleeping. New games are coming out constantly. I will prioritize the Nuzlocke. It's a long-term project for me now, though. But yeah, let's go Maasai. Because I don't know if this means 25% less food consumption or if like you use 25% less population when doing certain things. Boom. Let's go Maasai. Tech-wise, I would like 3-masted ship. So I'll put 1 turn into heavy infantry before we switch.
Geography, cartography,
I really like these movies still.
Astronomy. It's a time of discovery and exploration. But discoveries are not made solely by traders and adventurers. Those who explore with ships and caravans would go in circles without those who explore with pens and parchment.
Nice. We're becoming Maasai. Watching our little cultural buildings change is kind of cool. We already start off with an agrarian star and a builder star. That's just how awesome we are doing. So agrarian is going to be like a big deal for us this era. The Enkang is +5 stability per adjacent exploitation. So as far as I can tell, these are kind of like the other ones. They can be placed anywhere, and they just do work, my friends. Oh my god. So let's finish the hamlet. So where was I building that science district, actually? I want to check. -15. So if I place another science district and put it to the top of the queue, it's still -30. So it is food consumption, it seems. It is how much food the population eats. Because I thought it might be, is it how much you chop or is it how much that you eat? If it's how much you eat, that's a huge bonus. We're going to have a huge population. Are you able to toggle skip the scenes? You can skip them. I used to skip them, but my first playthrough, again, when I play the game again, I watch the scenes because I want to look at them with like the fresh eyes of a new playthrough. My goodness, this is a lot of food over here. Hell yeah. It's going to be 12 turns for an absurd amount of food. But we will be able to fill this city slots out pretty well. Let's go ahead and cross the ocean. Now, what is this? Halberdiers, knights, great swordsmen, longbowmen. The longbowmen are very strong, but they are better than my pikemen. I can't actually upgrade the pikemen until these guys give me a logistics treaty, but they're jerks, so they haven't yet. I'll buy their copper. I'll buy their horse. They still don't want this. What absolute jerks for denying me. Like, I'm your ally. I'm here to help you fight. Why are you denying me logistic rights? What the hell is wrong with you? So we're building stacks. We're going to need like at least 20 cogs, I think, to fight them. And then a good few support ships too. But I think this is going to result in quite a good bit of fame here. We should be able to hit this merchant star super easy too, because we're cranking out gold, man. Nice, more cogs. Coggers! Any coggers in chat? I don't like how this army over here is looking at me like a snack, so I'm going to try and retreat away. I have that gripe with allies too. Or yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying for sure. It's not game breaking. It's just kind of like, come on, man. We're a team. To be a team player. I would like to absorb Tallinn in the near future. Let's keep buying boats, cogs specifically. Any coggers? We're cogging. We're cogging out. You will be upgraded. I like how embarked units are like as strong. Conquered empires. We're winning a battle on Imperialist. Oh, winning battle on relations. So their stability is tanking. So 11 turns and we win this war. It will have hurt my empire significantly to be in this war, but I think their stability spiral, I think, is to my benefit. It's rare that I want to stick out a war for more than like 10, 20 turns, but I would stick out this war until the end because it's the best way I can hurt the empire who's in the lead. Which is honestly the thing that's most important to me, like emotionally. Okay. Any agreeers? Right. So the city of Kilwa has, as far as I'm concerned, basically exploited all of its land. If we look around here, like I could add more and more and more and more and more and more, right? In terms of like, I could put more makers' quarters here, but I feel like it would be more efficient if I started to expand the city and like utilized more land. So we'll probably build an Enkang and then look to expand to Lorb. Speaking of Nasa, we're up to what looks like 13 cogs, plus we'll have reinforcements in the form of lots of land units. I can't wait to get railroads and stuff like that. A little bit of science osmosis, perfect. There's something about this game that, like, yes, it's a little bit frustrating when things aren't going right, but it really does have that, like, one more turn kind of feel. It really, really does. At least for me. Like, when I'm in it and I'm playing it, I just want to keep playing it. And I will, like, when I finish a game, I'm like, I want to start a new game. I don't know. I know. It's just, the game has me, dude. It absolutely has me. There are new wonders to be claimed here, actually. Machu Picchu. Food 1. +1 faith per district. Tokapi Palace. Plus 50% money on settled city. Let's just do that. 50% money on settled city. I don't know what that means, but it seems good. We won't build it immediately. We'll get around to it, is the thing. Three cities need orders. Hey, thank you so much, Calvander. Let's go ahead and start getting these Enkangs. There's a lot of potential food lying around. 42, 42, 42. 42 feels like a good amount. That's going to be a significant amount of population growth. Now, these don't give farmers jobs. They just give lots of food, which is quite good. Let's have a look here. We built a hamlet. So I'm going hard on my my emblematic quarter right now, because each one can give like 40-ish food each. Stability in Garama needs work. And I think we had decided that garrisons were the way. Because like garrisons next to my harbors are worth like 25 stability each, which is absurd.
Keep it at less than 3.
Which should more than pay for my Enkangs. So like an Enkang over here, an Enkang over here, and then an Enkang over here. Perfect. So that should take care of that city. We're hard on growth right now. Now we want to pick up 3-masted ship like we talked about, so we can start settling with all this influence that we're banking. Mexican war support has fallen down to 24. Enemy units over here. I wonder where they're heading. I think it might be safe to start moving out with these cogs. Just to be a little bit closer to whatever these guys are going to plan. Cog and cog. Another cog. A cog. A cog. A cog. A cog. Keep spamming those cogs. I really like playing gold-based civs because it means that I can use a single city for production, right? I spam out all my units from one city. And then the rest of my cities are working on eco, so I'm able to wage war while not falling behind economically. That feels kind of nice to me. It's like it really appeals to the way that I like to play the game. So Kilwa, as far as I'm concerned, is fully built now. The only thing that it's missing is like maybe a harbor. I don't think that's worth it. Let's go ahead and attach lore next turn once we have the gold. For now, just put a turn into an alchemist, and we shall see how she goes. Ah, we have now silver agrarian. If we can hit gold agrarian super early, that's a lot of score. They're super far ahead in terms of score, but I think we can catch them. I think we can catch them before they can end the game. So let's attach Lore W. Perfect. Another expansionist star. 2 more territories. So that'll be something we're working on this era. Is getting those expansionists nice and early. Let's do another Enkang. There's 30. Well, I don't want to put it there. Could I put it somewhere else? Because I want to build my research quarters here, is the thing. So the thing is, you want this to not be adjacent to things that you're going to exploit. That's the thing about the Enkang, right? Because like here, it's only getting like a little bit of food. So I might just tuck it over here in the corner and get like a suboptimal one. You know what? Here's fine. We'll just pop it there. I didn't see where that army stack went. So I might be able to get a sneaky attack here on this embarked army. The idea of that kind of excites me a little bit. If I could get like a really, really clean kill on this embarked army with my guys, because I'm pretty sure they have like super crappy, and I mean super crappy transports right now. So if I can hit them before they research better transports, it's like game over for them. Ah, there we go, Saltpeter. I'm very happy with how Zinkera is developing. I really feel like this city still needs jobs, like it's missing hamlets. To the point where an Enkang might not be the play here. Like, do I really need more food? Not really. We've only got 3 job slots open. I think another hamlet, just one hamlet, would be fine. Maybe a research quarter for science, and then an Enkang can be justified quite easily. You know what I mean? Am I going to put a city here? Not until I have 3 masted ship.
Your people see it as a place of safety and a symbol of power. Only your friends know of the extensive wine cellar.
So I'm now officially in their territory. Population, okay, cool. And population falling. Units receive damage when ending their turn because he became lost at sea. Okay, I need to know what this hotkey is. Does anyone know what the skip turn hotkey? Slash. What does spacebar do? Really? How about spacebar is going to be, because in my brain, tapping spacebar is like how you stop units from acting. You just click space, click space. Like, I don't have a plan for you this turn. You click space, basically. Is how I usually play these games. Archers. That, like, having good hotkeys when you're playing these games is actually a significant advantage, because it means you can get through more turns in less time. 15 science per city is huge. That's going to help a lot, actually. Uh, 100% anyone in water can cap coastal cities now. Oh, this has a dedicated naval ship? Caleb. What? I think most of the civs are pretty good. There's a few that I don't think are very good. So we now have gold, agrarian. I do think we want to attach another 2 territories. I think I'm just going to do that just to get that star. And here's how we're going to do it. No, I'll wait one more turn to do it. One more turn, and then we'll do it. So here's the thing. Can I want to have a battle limited to water. Because if they go get on land, they're going to start shooting me. But here's the thing. I need to make sure they can't land troops. Like, their units can't start on land is the most important thing here for me. I think if I cut them off by, like, swinging around at this weird angle.
A cultural wonder. In my considered opinion, one of your competitors garnered a lot of fame building that monstrosity.
Yeah, if I can catch them here, I think... Yes, retreat into my boat. And now you're trapped. Perfect. So we're going to manually battle this. We'll end deployment. So I want to get as many kills here as possible to try and force a peace. And thankfully my cogs can one-shot their boats. So this is perfect. So unless they can get their own boats in on this, it's over for them. So that's a full enemy army stack wiped, which should be enough, combined with the retreat, to force peace. And then I can like maybe hurt their empire. Whoa, look at this yoinking. They yoinked this city. Amazing. Khmer, you're doing work. So we're building a doom stack over here to go to war later. It's going to be an expensive upgrade. Upgrading all these units. Thankfully though, I have serious money. Alright, what's going on here? Celebrating on... Yep, sure. Now, we could enter into the next era. Which, they're already Mexico. The next civ that we're going to be... Because we're doing an all-African run. It's probably going to be the Ethiopians. +5 science on garrisons, which will help me with my stability quite a bit. Kind of a more defensive civ, but the Oromo cavalry could be based as hell. Let's go to try them out. I do think Ethiopians are one of the weaker guys, but they are militaristic, and we do want to be going to war probably in the next era to try and, you know, drag, you know, Crab Bucket. We got to drag him back down. But that was a pretty good slaughter. That was a huge amount of enemy production, gold, etc. investment that we just kind of took out of the game there. So I'm happy about that. Three-masted ship. Perfect. We have colony plan. We have settlers available. Settlers is huge. Just by the by. We have caravels. Better naval transports. Although not that much better than what we already had. Victory in the war. We talk to them. Now, we can just take war reps. I'm forcing them to convert to my religion. I'm forcing them to sign a trade treaty with me. And I may be able to yoink like a little bit of land. Like, what's this? Where's this? Where's Kraz? Kraz is over here on the border. Like, I can yoink it. So I think yoinking just a little bit of their land here is like amazing. There's no point converting it to money because it's like a single turn's worth of money. But if I can like take a little bite out of their empire, okay, hear me out. This is what we're going to do. Hear me out. Take a little bite out of their empire and be like, oh, what's that? Oh, you guys had like plans for this land? You guys had really, really good plans? What if I just popped a city here on your border and then started attaching land to it? You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm in. Now I'm in your business. How do you feel about that? It feels pretty good to me that I'm like in their business being annoying. So I think my next major goal is to just get rid of the Goths, do a little bit of city housekeeping, maybe merge a couple of cities. I think I also need to consider expanding by building settlers. Like I could just crack out a settler here in my capital. And drop a city in here to expand out. Vassalize the Goths. Is vassalizing worth it? I feel like I should just conquer them. No? Would I not just take the land for myself? So there's three-masted ships. Arquebusiers. Patronage rush for sure. Now their rebel problem is also their problem. I mean, I haven't even seen rebels, to be honest with you. Like, I don't see any rebels. None of their cities have flipped like independent. The real meme is now I am their problem, just in general. And like the real bonus meme is just like carpeting this whole landmass in garrisons to make it absolutely horrendous to fight me. Yeah, that's right. I'm not above it. Buy the trade from them? I think our trade... Oh my god, our trade routes got deactivated. Wait! I forced them to trade with me.
Let us formalize our mutual appreciation. You are doing things that would shame even
What?
Russia's.
I just won a war to force them to trade with me, and they're refusing still?
Imagine that even a rat would stoop so low.
What? What? I fought a war for this. Our grandfathers died for this right to trade with this empire. What? I don't understand. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling much better, buddy. I'm really confused. Trade War Part 2, I guess. Settlers are only useful on free land. The main advantage of settlers is that I can build them with production and not my extremely limited influence. That's the main advantage. Raise conquered land and use a settler to rebuild. I didn't conquer this. I built it. I used the click. I clicked this button. The colony plan. That's why this thing has all infrastructure built automatically. That's why it's able to pump out a garrison every couple of turns. I didn't actually take cities. I just took I'm brain farting so hard right now. I took unsettled land, outposts. We have another builder star. We can get this one pretty quick too. It's a lot of arrow score. The value of these is now starting to dip ever so slowly. Got 17k. So now I need to start thinking about mergers and acquisitions. Like, does Zunkera and Mycenae really need to be separate cities? Do they? Mycenae absorbing Zunkera is a lot cheaper than Zunkera absorbing Mycenae. I wish it would give me a better breakdown of what this price difference is, so that I could like take steps towards fixing the price difference. You know what I mean? Zunkera has a better name. Damn it, it's true. By merging, I free up more city slots to expand. Macumba and Garama could honestly combine too. The problem is food would be tough without the Enkangs built. So we gotta wait for the Enkangs. The value is determined by the difference of infrastructure. Yeah, I get that, but it's more like I wish the game would kind of give me a little bit more of an upfront analysis. Like say, hey, here's why. Like here's a breakdown of how you could reduce this price. So looking at Kilwa again. I think our plan was to continue to just develop Kilwa into a very powerful city. It's doing well. It's doing well on its own. Any trade routes here? No trade routes. God, I'm really pissed off that they won't trade with me.
Tell me what you
Let's redirect our anger at the Goths, I think. I'll just drop like whole stacks upon their head. Where are all my army stacks? Here we go. Make your way up here to the north, just be defensive. Maybe feudalism should make vassals more viable. I don't know how unviable vassals are, so it's been a while since I've played, so we're kind of in the discovery phase of things. No, don't go there. Hey, thank you so much, Sedgehammer. I appreciate you. Coggers. There's our settler. So I'm thinking Kilwa will own most of this. I'd like a settler to go do something over here. We've got this. Parsimonious or science investing. I think science investing is better for me because I have lots of gold but not too much science. I'm only on 1,000 science per turn. Let's upgrade these swordsmen to great swordsmen. And then these archers to what I assume are crossbowmen. And then these spearmen to pikemen. And we can go kill the Goths in like a couple turns.
What concerns you today?
I'm gonna like make a demand. Probably just do a surprise war because I have no way to like lower my relations with them. Upgrade these soldiers too. And then upgrade these pikemen too. Boom. There's some knights to join the fray. Learning on 7 targets. Yeah, I think we want to keep the science pumping. Your achievements are many, your lands are beautiful since the times of antiquity. Like Bycast. This is like a generated story here. I heard that true and thrilling story until now. Popular playwright in Mykonaid's adapted event for Saga. A saga of exploration and high adventure, replete with dramatic embellishments and lavishious romance. The people are thrilled, and you hear it is not half bad. Perhaps you should grace the theatre, so I can attend the theatre or pass on it and go for a more militaristic thing. I think I want that. That science seems really good here. Legend raid, Legend of Total War, poggers, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys over there are excited for the Warhammer stuff that's coming up. I think Warhammer 3. So like, I want to say that's either days or weeks away. I'm kind of excited to try it out myself. I tried a little bit of Total War Troy, but I never got a chance to actually play it. Legend summon us. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Legend. Shout out to you. I'll give you a sub, my guy. Hey, thank you. Hello, Legend of Total War's host. Sound more grateful, you arrogant Oh my god, Legend! Thank you so much! Legend! Oh! You're so... Thank you! Wow! I can't... What? Woo! Yeah! I just... It's just the way I am, alright? Like, I don't know what you want from me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Sorry, I was joking. Okay. All right. Do we have to go over the graph of why jokes are supposed to be funny, or should we just leave it be? Maybe I shouldn't bully the people who just raided me. Thank you so much, Legend. I'm knackered, so I need to get some sleep. Go get some sleep, man. Enjoy it. You've earned it. About to turn into critical. Woo, yeah, baby. That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo, yeah. Oh my god, he's getting his cock out. That's like one of my favorite, what's it called? That clip of critical. And like every time I hear it, I like cry laughing slightly. Adios, guys. Or adios, Legend. Thanks for the raid. I really appreciate it. You guys are heroes. We need to make YouTube rating a thing. I agree. DIY civilization. Okay, so Matt, all right, so some of you guys coming here from Total War are gonna be like looking at this game and being like, what the hell is going on? And you know what? Sometimes I look at this game and I think the exact same thing. This is Humankind. It's a 4X game based around the concept of leading humanity from the Neolithic age all the way to the future age. You got yourself a big old fat tech tree that you can work your way through. We're pretty deep into this game. You start off in the ancient era. You start doing things like flood irrigation, which gives you extra food off of rivers. You do fishing. You can build harbors. You unlock things like boats. You make your way through the tech tree. And then you get up things like seafaring mastery, where you can start to explore, you know, over the ocean. You can build hamlets. You get knights and tourney fields, and you make all the way along to the tech tree eventually until you're doing like you're launching cruise missiles. You're building drone assistant fertilizer farms. You're building solar power, although I feel like that should probably come before the drone assistant fertilizer farm. But listen, factory farming. You've got mass entertainment, like with the cinema, although again, I feel like that should come a little bit earlier. So it's actually a pretty cool, it's definitely, yeah, it is turn-based, 100% turn-based. So like I come in here, I click on this city. Here is like all the yields of the city, all the resources that are coming in over here. Here's your food, here's your industry, your production used to produce things, your money. Unlike in Total War, where I think things take a set amount of time per turn in a city, like if you're upgrading a building, it takes always 4 turns. In this game, the amount of turns that something takes to produce is based on the industry that you make. In my opinion, industry is like a controversial yield in these kind of games because how fast you produce something like completely dictates the pace of the game. So industry is always the best resource to have, which is kind of why I like the grand strategy layer of Total War, because things always take like a set amount of time to produce. It has it means I don't feel like I have to always invest into production to build things faster. And I can just think about like, ooh, I get this new unit, or ooh, I want this money, or you know? The downside of Total War is like empire management, in my opinion, is that you don't get to do things like you manage your population, like by producing, you know, a certain amount of food. Although they do have that kind of in some of the games have that in different respects, and you have money, and, you know, but you kind of have science. They kind of I really like this numbers aspect of this. So if you're like a Total War fan who really likes this kind of numbers gameplay, you'll enjoy this. Otherwise, you'll find it tedious and annoying. But you can move population around. Like say I'm like, oh god, I need more science. I can like grab population here from like farming and put them into science, and now I've got more scientists, right? It's kind of like a little bit of a micromanagement game here. You can also just set it to like auto do things. You build stuff over here, so like I can build units. Let me make this bigger so you can kind of see the pictures a little bit easier. You've got halberdiers, you've got settlers to make new cities. Every single one of these like flags, the big flags denote a city, the little flags denote an outpost. You can't really build much in an outpost. It just kind of like makes a little bit of population, and you can put like a harbor in it. But if you played games like Civ 4, Civ 5, Civ 6, you kind of get the gist of it. I think the thing that really stands this game out is that in a lot of these games, like you have a unit, say like let's say I just have like these knights here, and like in a lot of these games you like walk them into the enemy, and then they like automatically fight, and then like a dice is rolled and you win or you lose. This game actually has like fully modeled, not like tactical battles. So like. And it's honestly the most fun part of the game, especially in multiplayer. Like multiplayer with friends of like equal skill level is like incredible. So like if I walk up to this tile and attack this city, it'll like take this actual world map, generate like a kind of battlefield area, and then all the units will kind of unstack from these army stacks that are walking around and fight out the battle over the thing. Actually, no, I'm going to declare war on these guys next turn to show you guys that. Also, if you are from Legend of Total War, which I super appreciate you, by the way, for rating me, go check out. If you get the Xbox Game Pass, you can play this game for like $3 or something. Insane. If you are curious, how does this make Papa Nurgle feel? I would 100% play a Warhammer mod for Humankind for sure. I don't know if you guys have played Warhammer Relics of War. It's a 40k game. No, to be fair, but super great. So looking at the city, my capital city, I would like to start building the Taj Mahal. So I'm going to go ahead and place that down here in my capital city, and over time that will get built here. Now this is what we call like an empire-wide project. So I can like click here and assign every single, you can see here this number underneath the 26 turns. If I assign all of my cities to work this, you can see that number is going down pretty quick. However, the downside is all of my cities are working on this for 5 turns. So like nothing is being produced in my empire if I assign everyone to this except this. But it's really good because it gives me plus 50% money across my empire. So I think I might work on that right now. Not gonna lie, kind of chill stream. Legend hosted. I'm here to stay. Thank you so much. What cultures did you pick? Sure thing. So in this game, as you advance through the eras, every time you go from like ancient era to the classical era, for example, so you can see here's like the ancient era right up here, and then we go to the next era, the classical era. Every time you pass one of these like diagonal lines in the tech tree, whether it's by culture or whatever thing you do, you get to pick a new culture. So like for here, we're playing the Maasai. This is our current one. We can stay as the Maasai and get 10% extra score in the game, or, which is accumulating scores, how you win. Or we can like advance from the early modern era to the industrial era. We could play as the Austro-Hungarians. We could be British. We could be Ethiopian. And every single one of these guys has their own affinity, bonuses, unique units, unique districts. So like, let's say Germans. The Germans have extra combat strength on their naval units, iron ordnance, extra combat strength on their air units, and units are cheaper to produce with industry. So they can produce a lot of units, and their air and navy is really, really powerful. They also have the coking works, which gives them a lot of production, a lot of pollution, which is a mechanic that kind of comes in, introduced into the game in the industrial era. Too much pollution causes like severe ecological damage in your city, and you can kind of mitigate it in the late game. Just like I told you, DIY saves. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And the Germans are militarists, so they're really encouraged to go to war. And they also have the U-boat. I'm playing the Cultures of Africa DLC, which is based around basically all of the culture, like a whole bunch of cultures in Africa. So that's why, for example, if I go back through my thing here, if I go back through, you can see in the Neolithic era, you start off as like a nomadic tribe. Then in the ancient era, we were the Bantu people. They were expansionists. We were able to do some crazy stuff, settling a whole bunch of tiles. Then the classical era, like we capped, like look at this, gold star, gold star, gold star, gold star, gold star, gold star, bronze star. Like we got all the gold stars in the ancient era. We like got insane score. In the classical era, a little bit worse, okay? 5 gold stars, 2 silver. Not great. But these are an agrarian civ who focuses on growing food. It's the Garamantes. And they built these things, the Fagara, that gives you a ton of food, especially extra food from terrain you wouldn't normally be able to farm. So there's kind of like a mechanic in this game where when you're building infrastructure, like little districts, you can only place them adjacent to other districts. However, there's an exception made for districts like the Fagara. I think... Where is the Fagaras that I placed? Forgive me, I am blind. Where are my Fagaras? Hold on. Let me turn on this mode. Is this one? No, that's an admin. That's an Enkang. Here they are. Fagaras. So the unique thing about Fagaras is they can be placed anywhere. And there's a couple of districts that can do that, like the Hamlet here. It's a pretty unique district. You can place it anywhere. And the interesting thing about the Hamlet is it acts as an anchoring point where you can build other districts off. So like these basic districts, you can usually only build them off of already existing infrastructure. So if you look and you see these highlighted tiles, that's where I can build it. Like I can't just place it over here. I have to place it here or here or here or here or here or here. Could never understand the rules. Get something you have to play to get into it and understand. I watched tons of your streams of this, and I still have no idea how to play it. I should probably do more explaining. Also, is the music like super loud, or am I crazy? It feels like so loud to me. I just need to lower my own sound, I think. What was I going to say? Yeah, so like the game is just like super, super cool. In a lot of different ways. It's not like the best 4X game I've ever played, but it has like the kind of potential where it could be like one of the really, really good ones. So you can do all sorts of really, really cool stuff. So let's get to that war that we talked about, right? I teased the war. Let's do it. This is like a rump state, tiny piece of like, you can look how much I expanded, dude. I own like half the map, but I still need to build up like the resources to actually turn it into cities is the thing. Also, this orange player, he snowballed to a ridiculous degree, and currently has like 3,000 more score than me. And they're an era ahead. So yeah, they're public enemy number 1, and I need to kill them. I actually think I was the one I killed one of these 2 empires earlier, and I think it was like they were like the Mycenaeans or something, which is like an early version of the Greeks. Also, this game is like one of my favorite things about this game is you click end turn and the turn just ends. There's no like the game doesn't hitch and random like things just you hit end turn and you're in the next turn like basically instantaneously. So there's a couple of things going on here. This empire is now needy. So these guys are really weak and we're allies with them. And I'm allies with the Khmer specifically because the Khmer border the orange player and I want to have an ally against orange because orange is like kind of scary and big. They have like 1 million boats. So they're needy. So they're really dependent upon me, which is quite good for me because I can buy all their resources and I can, you know, potentially open up treaties like customs unions or scientific agreements. Actually, I think the 5% science here is like huge. Why would you refuse that? What is wrong with you? Anyway, it's those benefits. The Mexicans hate me. They super hate me because they declared war on me and I won. I beat them and I forced them to pay me reparations. I stole a few chunks of unoccupied land inside their territory just to like, I got to deal with them, dude. They got to go. And now I think while I'm waiting for my war support to recover so we can go to war with the Mexicans again, I'm going to go ahead and start building. I'm going to take out the Goths over here because they're useless at this point. So we just declared a surprise war. Boom, we're now at war with the Goths. They're going to like move their armies around to try and stop me, but they've got like swordsmen and archers. I'm rocking, you know, great swordsmen, 42 combat strength, ridiculous units. Like, look at that power preview. He's got 2 army stacks, and I still am favored to win. So yeah, they're pretty, you know what? Pretty weak. So this is the thing I was talking about earlier. You can see how when I hover over attacking this army, based on the angle that I attack, the white highlighted area is like the battle map that we're going to be fighting on. And then the color is where the initial armies are going to be deployed. But every single one of those tiles in white is actually available for war. But I'm going to go ahead and straight up just attack their city. Because why wouldn't I? Let's have these units on the flank. And before I actually do the full attack, let's go ahead and upgrade all of these pikemen to halberdiers. Now, pikemen are 37 combat strength, whereas halberdiers are 41. But because I have so many unit upgrades, they're actually 47 combat strength because I have professional soldiers, meditate often, I have a really strong ideology. So now we're going to initiate the siege. We'll begin the assault, and you can see here's the battlescape. Like, so wherever this white line is where like this little tactical battle is going to happen. This is going to be like a really easy battle, unfortunately. I don't get to show you like one of the cool massive battles that I've had in multiplayer. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can. See if we can take out this battle, and then I got to go play in D&D. So whatever, this auto deployment will work. It's fine. We're massively outnumber them. And the really cool thing about this, by the way, is you can bring reinforcements into this battle. You can have a battle like this rage, and every time you add an army to it, the map, like the battle map, gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So like in the early game, you might fight over like, you know, like this like tiny chunk of the map. But then when you get into the late game, when you've got like artillery, like siege artillery and machine guns and, you know, conscripts being pumped out, like you could legitimately have like a battle map that like goes from like this city to like this. It's just like this massive huge battle map with like 80 units in it that you have to like manage. So it's like, well, 80 is maybe an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Battles can get big. It's really, really cool. Let's go ahead and jump into the battle if we can with these knights. Knights are a little bit low tech at this point for me and for the orange player, but for fighting the Scythian Goth player, okay, you didn't quite make it to the battle. That's okay. Let's start off with our crossbows. Now, the interesting thing about crossbowmen is that they are, I believe, direct fire units, so they have to have line of sight of the enemy in order to shoot at them. So that means you can't have anything blocking their way. So crossbowmen are kind of like, they're not quite melee units. But they have to have like a clear vision. Like if I were to stand here, I wouldn't be able to shoot. If you look and see, depending on where you're going to step to, units will get highlighted in red if you can shoot at them. So if I go here, I'll actually be able to shoot across this valley, right, at this guy, because you need to have clean, direct line of sight for the unit you're shooting at. And that's just like one of the important rules of crossbowmen. It's a bit fiddly, and it's like slightly annoying. But that's not the end of the world. So I should be able to completely obliterate this. Like if you look here, I've got 43 combat strength, they've got 36. They are like in fortifications, they're defending, and they're like citizen units, which usually have an extra combat strength bonus. But I should be very easily be able to break into this city. Now, unfortunately, cavalry can't actually attack walls, so probably shouldn't have had cavalry deployed by the walls. I could have sat here and like sieged down the city over time and built like siege equipment, like in Total War, where you spend time, you siege the city, you build ladders, you build battering rams, you build stuff like that. But like I've got overwhelming force here. This isn't a hard battle. I should have shot first with my crossbowman. I messed up there. Let's go here and shoot him. And then attack there. You attack there. Yeah, I'm looking pretty happy with this. I'll just end my round. So there's 3 rounds of combat per turn of the game, and the battle can happen over multiple turns. So there'll be 12 like back and forths in total in this battle before it's resolved. In reality, most battles end way before you ever reach that limit. So just keep that in mind. So now I can actually get my pikemen to scale the walls of the city, and now they're in position above ground. Above ground here, you can see I'm getting +4 combat strength from being on the high ground. And I believe I'm not getting flanking for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, but it was a pretty easy battle, right? We killed them. And now we occupy this city. So now we just need to take on Hattusa. And then I think once we've done that and we've killed off all their armies, I think we just win, right? Their war support has dipped significantly because I'm occupying their city. But yeah, Legend of Total War is a legend. His timing on the host was a little bit poor though, because I gotta go play D&D. I love you all very much. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Yeah, thank you guys for dropping in. Super duper appreciate it. But I gotta go play D&D over on Twitch. I don't know who else to host on YouTube. Tune in again. I shall be streaming this tomorrow. Do the Legend of Total War either waiting room or, the pre-Legend of War, depending on when he streams. If you guys want me to, I can either play the game or I can explain the game. I can do both like simultaneously. I've been doing this for years, so I can talk and explain and play at the same time. It's not a problem. I don't have time to play Super Auto Pets. I wish I could play Super Auto Pets. I gotta go D&D. Adios amigos. Save for Humankind. I think both are